Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Stephen.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, it is a good morning. Still kind of dealing with tournament hangover.
Tournament hangover.
Yeah,
That's a new one.
Yeah, all classes have just been like
We're not using
letting the kids run
Yeah.
around and do drills and skill stuff. And
definitely set up certain habits because I've been asked a couple times this week, are we doing our forms today?
yeah, exactly.
So they just have come to expect it.
So I think it was, it was one of the kids on Tuesday. I was like, hey, we're going to do a drill today. And he's like, what?
What?
No, we're not doing forms? I'm like, no, tournament's over, buddy.
That's right.
So, and he's like, yes. And I was like, all right. So it's good. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty consistent week. We got picture day coming up on Saturday, or by the time you're listening to this, picture day is over.
Picture day would have happened.
Picture day would have happened, and picture day is always a fun time. Good news, and we can finally kind of talk about it.
We can talk about this
on the podcast, but the dojo, it's set up a kind of like a scholarship fund for Liam's dad, Kyle.
That's right.
So we presented that to him on Wednesday, and he will be starting this coming week, but he will be here for picture day to get his picture taken to get put on the plaque.
Fantastic.
So, yes. I told him when I gave it to him, I go, hey, because he came in and he was like, he could tell something was...
He was suspicious.
He was suspicious, like, what's going on?
Why are you summoning me?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
This
hey...
is interesting.
You know, the students and I wanted to do something for you guys, and then just kind of told them exactly what we did for them. I go, we know you don't need this, like you don't need us to do this for you, but we felt the need to do this for you. So, yeah, we took care of some of his training for a while, and my goal, because shortly after Liam had passed, maybe about a week or so afterwards, and you know, we were kind of still dealing with the fallout from that. We were talking, and Liam's mom, Inez, was like, we really need to make sure Kyle starts training. And I was like, okay. And then earlier this year, we've been, you know, obviously I've been in communication with them, you know, this whole year. And I was like, hey, I really want to make sure that you start training so you can get your black belt for both you and Liam. So we're starting the journey in May this month, and it will be a great experience. And hopefully we'll actually have him on the show next episode.
Oh, wow.
He needs to see if he can clear a few things first, and then hopefully we will end season 6 with Kyle Fowers. I always say Flowers. It's Fowers. So that should be a lot of fun. So that was a really good and fun thing to kind of do, you know, have during in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So
That was the same day we did the Tiny Tim.
Yep, that was the same day we did Tiny Tim. So feeling all righteous and
Feeling so good.
Yeah, be like,
helping other people makes you feel
people.
so good.
Yeah, exactly. Or if, you know, you get around bad people, you can be like, well, I did all this good stuff. What did you do?
Oh, no.
Nothing. That's right.
Uh-oh.
So, but...
I smell pretentious attitudes.
Exactly. I am righteouser than you.
Oh, no.
Is that even a word,
I
righteouser?
think the term is more righteous.
Yeah, but that sounds even more pretentious.
Yeah.
Righteouser makes you sound just dumb enough.
I'm the righteousest.
Yeah, righteousest. So, don't you... God, I don't know. Maybe that's just like a pet peeve of mine when people try to act high and mighty, but they sound stupid.
It's interesting. It's really a control thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but that's not how it's coming out. Now you just sound dumber.
Yeah.
So, but then they double down.
They double down.
Yeah.
Then once they burn that boat, they're not going back.
Yep. It's like,
It was-
hey, well,
I
we're
heard a
already...
story about CJ yesterday about that.
See, really? What
Yeah.
did he do?
Well, because we had a bunch of, it was for drills, right?
Yeah.
And he loves being in charge.
He does.
And so he gets to pick like who got to carry the baton next. And so he's like, "Show me your best front position." And then he started critiquing people like, "Oh, you're not frowning enough." It was like just the dumbest things. I'm like, "Come on, buddy."
Well, God, that honestly, speaking of Liam, that sounds a lot like Liam.
He was like that too.
Holy cow! The second you gave that kid a little bit of power,
Just an inch.
whew,
I got a mile.
man, he walked around with his hands in his belt, snapping at the kids, telling them to get in front position, be like, "Hey, stop talking." Then when his class came around, he was the exact opposite, and I'm like, Liam, buddy,
Whoa, dude.
it's like you were just yelling at kids an hour ago to stop talking, and you can't stop talking, bro. So, oh man, it's so funny when you see kids get like that. Like, I can tell, I can boss people
They get
around.
the pants for just a second. It's like, oh, what can I do with this?
Exactly. But, oh man, what a good week. It's been a good week. It's going to be a good month. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Unfortunately, we had to reschedule Ninja Night. So instead of being May 10th, we're going to do it June 7th. So that'll be a lot of fun.
June 7th. Okay.
June 7th. Yeah.
Put that in the books.
Yep. Unfortunately, we can't get our balloon person. Crystal's got commitments.
Another
already.
event, another gig.
She already has another gig that day.
Oh, wow.
So
busy season for balloon people.
Yeah. Well, it is a season, and especially that week because that week's the week of graduation.
Oh,
so
people be needing their balloons.
Yep, a lot of balloon stuff that week, and I don't think Jay can make it either. So I've got to take over like the temporary tattooing.
You've got to do that.
Well, I'm gonna do it.
There you go.
So it's probably not going to be quite as nice as Jay's, but whatever. And I'll be like, no, you're not getting that on your forehead. Pick another place. Like your mom will kill me if you come home with a temporary tattoo on your forehead. What do you think you are, Mike Tyson? So
there we go.
But all right, moving on with the show. Let's get to our Liam's Facts. All right, last week's question was, when was the term, or what kind? Well, let me read it. Where is it? It's up here. Okay. Last week's question was
term.
Let's see.
Grand Prix.
Yes, it was the.
From
I
which
want to make
country?
sure I read it correctly. The term Grand Prix was first used in a motor race in which country? The answer to that question is France, and that was also, of course, answered correctly by Master Lessons.
Master Genius. Very nice.
Yes. Master Lessons wins again. I don't know if he'll get this one. I'm pretty sure he will, but we'll see. But this week's question, again, oddly enough, I didn't really put this together until all of a sudden I looked at last week's question and this week's question. I'm like, they're both car related. So
what?
Yes. This week's question is, who is often credited with creating the world's first car?
The world's first car.
Yes. Once again,
cool is that?
Who is often credited with creating the world's first car? So I'm assuming car would like engine, not just like transportation vehicle.
What?
Because that would be like the horse and buggy.
Who is accredited with creating the world's first car?
Yes. Who is credited with creating the world's first car? If you know the answer, leave a comment in the comment section down below or email us at TrueTalkTuesdays@gmail.com. And we will see if you are correct.
This.
All right, moving on to a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. TRUMOTION in motion, let's go. Gear up, stand tall, feel the flow. Kicking it strong with the best of the best. Streetwear fresh, put your style to the test. Karate vibes, yeah, we bring that heat. From tees to hoodies, keep it sharp, keep it sleek. T-shirt or hoodie, we got both. Subs for the grind, focus on growth. Stickers and swag, let the world know you rep style. Now let's go. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Reppin' that swag, flex it, wear it proud. Support True Talks and wear it loud. match your unstoppable might. Tigers and dragons, bold on the sleeve. Step in the dojo, they know you don't leave. Oh, step up, don't wait. Rock that fit, let's elevate. True motion merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Rocking that drip, yeah, you own the crowd. Support True Talks and wear it loud. Yeah, we reppin' strong, no fear, no doubt. True Motion merch shop is what it's all about.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thank you, sponsor.
And evermore moving on with the show, our top 5. Okay, this week's top 5 is top 5 sporting events. Top 5 sporting events. All right, what do you got?
Top 5 sporting events. That's quite an interesting thing. You know, I really got into sporting events, but now not so much.
Yeah.
I've kind of like I'm not against sporting events, but it just has lost its luster. For me.
They're not. You've
It's
changed.
You look at the Super Bowl, 'cause that's on my list.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, sporting event number 1, tournaments, karate tournaments.
True
number
Motion,
2, True
obviously,
Motion
are the best
specifically.
karate tournaments out there.
But you know, Cobra Kai tournaments pretty cool to watch. But I wasn't.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Cobra Kai
I
tournament,
know.
so
they're kind of exclusive.
yeah.
You have to be like an actor or something.
Apparently,
All right, March Madness is up there as well.
'Kay.
That used to be fun.
yeah.
I stopped really following that. I just
Yeah,
kind of lost
this
its
this
appeal.
year I did not really. I don't even think I watched a game in the March
Interesting.
Madness tournament,
Interesting.
which normally I at least like to watch that. But
Baseball
Yeah.
World Series, I like that. But again, like I think the last one I watched was in 08.
Yeah.
maybe?
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
I
watched
know
last
I know I
year's.
had a big one in 2016 when the Cubs won. 'Cause my
You're a
dad-
Cubs fan,
My
right?
dad's a Cubs fan.
Yeah, that's right.
So I
Had to-
it's
had to
like
watch that.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be there because it's on.
Yeah, I feel bad for like Chicago fan base teams.
Really?
Truthfully, and since Michael Jordan has left, I mean they have been terrible.
Yeah, they've gone downhill.
Yeah, I mean
I mean, the biggest
minus
one's
the
the Bears.
minus
That
one
is
the Cubs winning the World Series. That was a big deal.
That was recent, 100 years.
But man, yeah,
something.
the Bears haven't been good. The Bulls have been hit or miss. The Cubs, I mean,
Blackhawks, though, those are
Blackhawks aren't too bad.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're not too bad. But yeah, God, I feel man, there's certain just like fan bases where you're like, I'm sorry. Like I love that you're passionate for them and
Yeah,
like never
that's
lose
good.
that.
Like, you
'Cause
need
he-
to be passionate for something, even if they're not winning.
Exactly, because I mean, I can say this because again, for Todd, I am an Eagles fan,
Yep.
and we were terrible for a long time.
Yeah, you were
for
still
a
an Eagles
long time, and it sucks. But you never just be like, well, they suck. I'm going to find a new team. I don't like people like that. It's like just if your team sucks, like ride with them, and like eventually they'll get better. I promise. And if they don't, it builds character. It's character building. So
Yep.
yeah.
So going on. I'm now deviating from the traditional athletic events into more modern athletic events.
Okay.
Which is crazy because
Yeah.
they don't seem very athletic, but they
Athletic.
are a sporting event. It's
Yes.
esports.
Yes.
Esports. So
You can get a college scholarship for that stuff
Yes,
now.
you can.
So that's wild.
yeah, there are certain types of athletes. They've got really good dexterity with their fingers.
Yeah,
and
they got big
their
bi-
reaction time is like pow.
Finger biceps are
Real fast.
crazy.
Yeah. So esports, there's a couple big events. There's the International, which is a team-based fighting game called
Okay.
Dota 2. I watched a few years
What
of
is
that.
it called?
It's called Dota 2.
Is that the tournament or the game?
That's the game.
Dota 2.
It's kind of weird. It's
Interesting.
basically League of Legends.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's
Yeah.
more difficult, apparently.
League of Legends, that's like a Final Fantasy type game, right?
No, it's more like it's called an arena battler. So you're on a team, you have a role.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft's kind of like Final
okay.
Fantasy.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to get a lot of hate in the comments.
Whatever.
This. But, you know.
At least I'm not saying me like
Those
in a
keyboard
galaxy
warriors.
star, like far, far away, there were these Trekkies that went to Hogwarts and, all that stuff.
Funny enough, I came up with a funny joke that ties Hogwarts and Warhammer 40K together, but our audience won't get that, so.
I was going to say, I don't think
you'll get it. Then there's like other games like Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike, obviously Call of Duty, things like that. And then into competitive wargaming. So that's now a tournament style.
Really?
So you can go and you can get into a tournament and you can just bring your miniatures and you can play war against somebody else. And however you do, you get points and you go up the ladder or down the ladder.
Interesting. Okay.
So that was my 5. Not really any runners up. I do like races.
Yeah.
Those are fun. But I mean, I was more into the last few miles of the NASCAR race where it's like,
I think if I was
where the big
at the race live,
I'd be deaf.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to go to a NASCAR event. I'm not a NASCAR fan, or like even, I don't want to say I'm not a race. I like races. I think they're cool, like especially car races. But I think they'd be way better live. So I mean, you could probably say that about a bunch of.
Everything's
events.
pretty fun live. I think.
Yeah, the energy of the crowd, the noise, like you can literally feel it. So,
yeah, it's definitely something that's like you have to be there to be as a part of the group to be encouraging and be a part of the crowd.
I have some friends that are NASCAR fans. I was like, oh God, you guys are really good. You're really good at turning left, aren't you? And oh God, they get so upset. I was like, you guys are just like Derek Zoolander. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you're not an ambi turner. And they're like, what? I'm like, you can only turn left because Zoolander can't turn right.
Can't turn right. Yep.
They get really irritated with me. But I was like, I don't care. You guys are lame. But I do have to say there is a lot of science behind racing and strategy. And man, those pit crews are something else.
They practice.
Yeah. In fact, they actually hire a lot of former collegiate athletes. Like a lot of football players.
Lifting those tires is,
a lot of football players that don't make it to the NFL end up becoming pit crew members.
Wow.
So, and the fact that they can gas up a car, change all 4 tires in 10 seconds, that's incredible. Like, you're just like, what? Yeah. In, done, and then they're gone.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But some things that didn't make my list that are worth noting are the Masters, the golf tournament, Stanley Cup Finals, the World Cup, the NBA Finals, and the World Series.
Oh wow!
I tried the only one of mine on my board is that doesn't fall into this criteria. Is I tried to pick events that had like a 1-day winner.
Right. You wanted to get the results.
Yeah,
in one
it's
day.
not a series where it's like best out of so and so.
7 games.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do believe that you could say that like March Madness, that's on my list. March Madness kind of falls into that criteria because you lose, you're out.
If you lose, you're out.
So it is kind
winning,
of like,
you're still in.
Yeah, exactly. So it is that whole like single elimination style, but it's in a tournament bracket. So that I tried to, that was like kind of my criteria.
I can understand that.
Where it's like, I don't mind series, but it's like, dang, it's like, well, if I miss game 1, it's okay,
Right.
Or I just have to watch game whatever.
It adds to the intensity of the event.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. But it's also like certain competitive events are designed to take longer.
Yeah. Well,
because there's more thinking behind it, I think.
Exactly. And typically, like 9 times out of 10 in a series, the best team will win. Like in a single elimination, someone could get lucky.
Yeah.
And like that would never happen. Or if they played a series, that team would lose 4-1. Like they would only win 1 time. So I do believe that you get a better team that wins the series, but it doesn't mean it's more exciting.
At the same time, we're there for the excitement.
Exactly.
Being in the stands. Okay, so what's on your list?
So I've got, obviously, the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's fun. I mean, it's better when the Eagles play.
Better when your team's in there. Yes.
Yes, but that doesn't happen all the time. So when it does happen, it's a real special
recently,
thing.
so that's
good.
good.
Did happen recently. But I like to watch it regardless because, I like football. March Madness, the NCAA tournament, we just got done talking about that. I think that's a lot of fun. The Olympics.
Whoa, the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics. I like it. There's this comedian that goes on a tirade about the Olympics, and I was all like, God, he's right. He goes, the Olympics are the only thing in the world that makes you care about events you would never care about otherwise.
Right.
And it's like, God, he's right, because like nobody cares about swimming until the Olympics.
Yeah.
Or nobody cares about these obscure events until the Olympics.
I mean, there are people that care, but I don't know any.
Not mainstream.
Personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there are a bunch of track fans out there, but nobody cares about the triple jump until the Olympics.
Until someone's doing it on TV.
Exactly. So
for gold medal.
yeah, the Olympics are. I like the Olympics just because it doesn't happen all the time, and it allows you to like represent your country and like have national pride and all that stuff. So I like the Olympics. Obviously, TRUMOTION tournaments / like UFC title fights, like the combative sport.
Yeah.
So, but truthfully, if you were like, hey, do you want to like watch a UFC event or do you want to run a TRUMOTION tournament? I would honestly say I would run a TRUMOTION tournament.
You'd run a tournament over watching an event?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're there and you're doing it.
You're there.
In
You're
fact,
in there.
that happened over the weekend. Like after tournament, some people got together and watched a UFC fight. And I was like, I'm going home.
Yeah. There we go.
So it's like I would rather watch or participate and help with the tournament than I would watching a UFC fight. Now, if you're like, hey, do you want to go and sit ringside at a UFC fight? That'd be a hard sell. So I'd be like, God, I love tournaments, but like, how often am I going to do that?
Tournaments happen every year, but you may not sit by a ringside.
Yeah, but it would
UFC.
be a coin toss. Like if I had to do the tournament, I wouldn't feel bad. And then WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Super Bowl
How
for
fun.
the wrestling
That's right.
world. So, and I don't want to hear any of this nonsense of it's fake. Everybody knows it's fake.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not fun to watch.
Well, the
So-
NFL is scripted too, so.
Yeah, apparently the NFL scripted. Just as long as the Eagles are always scripted to win, I don't really care. It's like you can script it all you want.
As long as they're in favor.
Yes, exactly. But how long they'll be in favor, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But let us know what your top sporting events are or the ones that you like gear up and look forward to. And honestly, I think it depends on where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Like in other parts of the country, like badminton tournaments are like the big watch or cricket. Pickleball, cricket.
Down in St. George, man. Pickleball is like on every corner.
Rugby.
Rugby.
Like we,
Those
the
Aussies.
Browns, they're huge rugby fans. Like they went to Vegas last month to go watch a rugby event.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so I think depending on what area, not only in the United States, but around the world,
Yeah, well,
will kind of dictate.
anywhere outside of the United States, it's football.
It's whatever.
soccer.
It's soccer.
Which, they love that. But
Soccer.
every town has their team, and they go play other towns. And
This is true.
People
Everybody
love
likes soccer because they don't have American football.
well, it's cheap. It's easy. It's very much an
It is
easy
true.
sport to play.
It is. You just need a ball and
You need
feet.
one ball, you need a field, and you need goalposts. That's it.
Yeah, and feet.
And, you have to have legs, I guess.
Well, I mean, at least one.
at least a leg.
Yeah. 'Cause
A
you,
leg.
You could have crutches and let it rip, but who knows? But yeah, I guess,
I think we
Football.
better dig ourselves out of this grave.
yeah, whatever. Just keep double down. Remember,
Double down.
just like
Don't
earlier.
look back.
Yeah, don't look back. But let us know what your top 5 is, if it makes our list or if we forgot something that's some obscure thingy that's really big in Indonesia or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like snake wrangler,
Oh, man. Competitive basket weaving.
competitive basket weaving. Man, I don't know. Some of those people that put together those baskets are like, holy crap.
Their hands move fast.
Yeah. Or like cup stacking.
Oh, I
Or
did that once.
You like Rubik's
Those
cube
Rubik's
making.
cubes, I don't even know where to begin.
Nope.
It's all just colors.
Nope. I just smash it. I'm like, yeah, put that
I
back
take the
together.
stickers off and put them back on.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
But all right, moving on to our Ask a Sensei. We got some very relevant questions this week, and one that is taking the interweb by storm.
We're becoming relevant.
We are becoming relevant. It is, could 100 people defeat one gorilla?
100 people. Ooh.
I'm just saying people.
Yeah,
I mean, because I don't want to feel like we're excluding.
Only men can fight gorillas, apparently.
No.
According to the rest of the web, but not here.
People.
People.
And I'm not trying to be PC or nothing.
No.
But I just want to be
you
like.
just wrote people instead of man, and you're not going to go back.
No. And if a woman wants to get in there and try to mix it up, go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
Fair enough.
So, oh man, like speaking of women and like tough, if I had to choose people, have you ever heard of this lady called Leona? Oh shoot, she was on Dancing with the Stars, and she's a rugby player.
What?
Yeah, man, I can't remember her last name,
That's
but
okay.
it's Leona something. I think it's Leona Mar or something like that. She is like one tough lady.
Really?
Holy crap. Yeah, she's broad and strong, and I'd be like, you're on my team.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go take this gorilla out.
That's right.
Because you could run into it, and then someone come up from the side and sucker punch it in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And so that being said, I think 100 people could beat
100
one gorilla.
people could beat a gorilla.
Oh,
I would agree. I think that, especially if you get to pick the people.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
Let's see, where would a gorilla win against 100 people, right?
Children.
Yeah, that's right.
If you stick 100 children, the gorilla's taking them all out.
Yep.
Or 100, like, I don't want to sound mean, but like IT guys.
100 IT guys.
Yeah.
Could not beat a gorilla.
No. Even though you get that one jacked IT guy that goes to the gym all the time, and you're just like, what are you saying, man? Like, okay, the one
I work IT.
the one IT jacked bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Understandable, yeah.
Or, like, kindergarten teachers.
Well, yeah.
100 kindergarten
You got to be
teachers.
kind of tough to be a kindergarten teacher, but
You
you
do,
also have to be kind of soft.
Yeah, because you're dealing with little ones.
You're dealing with little ones. That's right.
Or, I don't think 100 handicapped
But 100
people.
able-bodied people,
Yes.
they could beat a gorilla.
Absolutely. Now, it would be even easier if they had tools.
Nope.
Because it doesn't say that, does
Doesn't
it?
say that. You have to use your
It's
nothing.
Bare hands.
You have clothes.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. I still think 100 people could beat a gorilla.
Yeah.
It might take out a bunch of them because gorillas are massive and strong.
They're massive, strong, but I mean, you can still kick them where it counts.
Yeah. I would assume the best way to beat a gorilla is you just have to overwhelm it.
You have to overwhelm it. Yeah.
And because, I mean, can it bite you and squeeze you? Yeah. But if you get like 20 people on it, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's that whole
Go for the eyes, really.
it's that whole zombie effect.
Yeah.
It's like beating a zombie is not hard, but beating 100 zombies, that can be problematic. So
Also, it's like, who's on the offense, who's on the defense, right?
Yeah.
Because if the gorilla is charging you, that will put in some. That'll make it so you don't have to expend as much energy to defend against it.
Yeah.
Granted, it's going to make a big impact when it hits you, and many people will probably be crumpled. But
Yeah.
if you're having to swarm a gorilla, the gorilla's just going to run away, and you can't catch it because it's faster.
I know, which is crazy to think.
They're fast.
Yeah, they're very fast. Yeah, they're all fours trot.
They're trot.
And I don't know. I've been seeing more, obviously, gorilla videos because my devices are listening to me.
They're listening to us, yeah.
But, man, when you see a full-size silverback gorilla,
Rampage speed.
holy smokes,
It's
that is
big.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Even though it probably doesn't want to eat you.
It's
'cause
vegetarian.
It doesn't eat meat, proteins.
That's right.
But, yeah, and we had that discussion.
We've
It's like,
talked about this on the show.
How does a gorilla
How
get
could something be
that big and not have
mostly vegetarian?
not have any kind of like meat source proteins?
And just to have that much muscle mass.
Yeah, because they say that. Oh, what did they say? The average silverback
It eats a lot. It eats like, I don't know, I think 60 pounds on when I looked at it up.
Exactly. And it's about the strength equivalency is for like one silverback gorilla is like 20 men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, holy crap, that's a lot. And their arms are crazy long.
They're long. Yeah, they've got range.
They've got some reach on them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God they don't know how to fight.
Not yet.
No. I mean, but
Sure, our military is really looking into that one.
Yeah. Oh man. That would be scary if like a gorilla knew how to fight. Like
Instead of a K9 unit, we'll have a G9 unit.
Yeah.
We'll just drop a gorilla unit in, and it'll just go in and clean everybody out. It's got
Like-
bulletproof armor on and a helmet and brass knuckles.
What is stopping it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It has to like they have to basically use a suicide bomber to stop it.
Yeah, with a nuke.
Pretty much.
Just nuke it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's why, like...
Because they're trainable. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know one that knows sign language.
Yeah, Coco would have conversations with people.
And it has requests.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing this?
Batman had something going with that was it Grodd?
Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, Gorilla Grodd. Man, an intelligent, like super intelligent gorilla.
Super intelligent gorilla.
Whew. No, thank you.
Yeah.
We
Something.
would not be on the top of the food chain. Then.
That's the muscle nerd right there.
Yeah.
All muscle and
Yep.
very smart.
Yes. Yeah, that's that one jacked IT guy.
That's right.
So.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah. Is your computer plugged in? I'll lift up your desk and you can.
Do you want me to plug your phone in?
Yeah.
Have you seen IT Crowd?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I have not, but
You need to watch it. It's very funny.
I will watch it.
It's all on YouTube, most of it.
Yeah, but man, now I just can't get this visual out of my head of like
A military gorilla.
or a gorilla like boxing,
Oh man,
like throwing.
I think there
Punches.
was a chimpanzee
There was a chimp that did karate.
that did karate.
Yeah, but the problem with like traditional karate or Asian martial arts is their legs wouldn't be very effective unless they put their hands down and did like a donkey kick
Yeah.
or something. Then it'd be, what would we call it at that point now? It's not we're not donkeys either, but
Right.
so, but yeah, I just got this visual in my head of this like gorilla getting like in a fighting stance and throwing jabs and crosses and hook punches and just taking people's
It's got
heads
range.
off.
It would hit people before they could hit it with kicks.
Yeah. Their arms are way longer than everybody's legs.
Yeah, it's low to the ground too. You can't grapple that.
Yeah, good luck trying to throw that
Yeah.
sucker. One, you grab its arm and it puts it on the ground before you throw it.
Yep.
And two,
It puts you on the ground with the weight of its arm if it's
Yep.
a 1v1.
exactly. And then you're trying to like get your hips underneath it to knock it off balance, and it's just like, nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh man, that's terrifying.
What a interesting way we took this.
Yeah. But getting back to the original question, I definitely think
100 chosen
people-
fighters or 100
Yeah.
chosen people.
If
would
I get
be-
if I get a pick 'em, it's not even a contest.
If it's just randomly assigned,
If it's randomly assigned, it could be.
it could go either way.
It could really go either way. But
Yeah.
if I get a pick 'em, at least half of them,
At least half. So you can do it in 50 if you pick them.
possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely think it'd be a lot closer.
Yeah.
But the chosen 50 would send in the sacrificial 50
Right.
to tire it out.
That's right. That's right.
So, but yeah, I definitely think 100 people could definitely take out one gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
So, if nothing else, they could out tactic it
Right.
and use tactics. And
Interesting.
I don't want to say outsmart it, but outsmart it.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, that's the biggest thing we've got going for us is our big brains.
That's our big brains.
Yeah, that's what keeps us on the top of the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all right, moving on to our next question is what's the most embarrassing song on your phone right now?
What? What in the world?
Yeah,
Who sent this in?
I don't know. Some
Oh, man.
random nerd
Some nerd.
that was like, "Hey, let's make them."
Let's dig up some dirt on that.
Yeah, let's see
Oh,
what kind of
man.
embarrassing stuff we can pull up now.
What's on my phone right now?
Well, let's see. I'll go with the last played song.
Last played song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mine's a last played song was some. Looks like it's called "The Mutiny." It's a EDM song by DCX. It's pretty interesting. A lot of beats. Is that embarrassing? You be the judge.
I don't necessarily think so. Interestingly enough, when I was driving over here, I was listening to a book, but then I got out, and then when I got back in, my music kicked on, and I was trying to find this morning. I saw this video, and I was like, oh, that'd be a funny song to put on the playlist for the dojo. It was like, it sounded like the Kentucky Derby, like the like you see from Looney Tunes. So I was like, oh, I couldn't find the horn for the starting of the Kentucky Derby with that following it. So I was like, oh, I'll look up like Looney Tunes songs. So I was listening to the Looney Tunes opening.
Nice.
And that song ended, and the next song that came up was When a Man Loves a Woman.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I really wasn't listening to it, but technically that is
on your phone.
the last played song. I don't think that's my most embarrassing song. Truthfully, I don't really think I have embarrassing songs, or at least I don't think they're embarrassing.
I have a few songs that are parody songs that are kind of funny, but it's like in the wrong crowd. It's like, why is this on?
I love parody songs.
Yeah.
Like Weird Al.
Weird Al is pretty
great.
kosher for a parody song artist.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling. And it's like, I really don't feel like I have any. Shanna and Maya would say differently. Like, I had this entire album called Yacht Boy.
Yacht Boy.
And this guy has taken traditional, like, rock songs and turned them into what they call yacht rock. And yacht rock would be like house bands on, like, cruise ships or whatever.
Okay.
And, some of them are fantastic.
I bet that's a great thing to listen to.
Yeah, so, like, I really don't feel like I have embarrassing songs. But, I mean, depending on who you talk to, you could be like, that's terrible. And be like, well, you're terrible, so let's move on.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on who's asking, right? Because it's like, you can say, oh, I got a classical music. I have Beethoven on my phone. And some people are like, you nerd, you should have Bach or whatever.
Yeah, Mozart's way better. Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of classical stuff because of my mom.
Me too.
She was a music major, so she knew all like classical composers in the Renaissance and the Baroque period and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't dislike any of those.
I think they're well written, well orchestrated, and they're great songs.
Yeah.
You know?
One that
just depends on the crowd, really. It depends on who's asking. That's why I was like,
yeah, no, I think it depends on who's asking. But I think one song that I'm way into now, and it's an old song, and when people hear it, they're like, that's not the artist, and it is. It's a song called Cool Cat.
Cool Cat.
By Queen.
Okay.
And it does not sound like Queen
it's something
at
completely
all.
different.
Yeah,
okay.
And everybody I've had listen to it, they're like, I'm like, this is Queen, and they're like, get out of here. Are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, it says Queen. And then when you listen to it, you're like, okay, I hear Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that's a little different, but really good, listen to Cool Cat by Queen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I think it depends on what crowd and what context you're kind of playing it to. Like if you go into church and you play gangster rap, that's probably not the best.
You're kind of embarrassed there.
They'll be like, oh crap, I probably shouldn't have played that.
Sorry, wrong crowd.
Yeah,
wrong
exactly.
circle, wrong friend circle here.
Yeah. But you could get away with playing gospel in a gangster rap crowd. Just saying.
Interesting.
Like I could see that happening.
Interesting.
Probably because the lyrics aren't very like harsh. But yet when you're in church and you've got a bunch of cuss words and all that stuff, they probably don't get along with that too much.
No.
So
how fascinating. What an interesting way to turn this question into a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just remember who you're with before you play that song.
Yeah. Don't necessarily censor yourself. If you don't really care, go for it.
That's right. If you're there to, stir the pot a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't be it's funny. People always go like, don't be ashamed to be yourself. Yeah, don't be ashamed to be yourself.
But yourself shouldn't be a complete tool.
No.
You should be able to say like, oh, I'm with these people. I know what they like. I'm friends with them. let's do something that we can all enjoy.
Yeah.
And then just have the horizons wide enough to be able to say, let's do that because we all like that, or let's listen to that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will like use that excuse of like, well, I'm just being me. No, you're just
That's
trying to
taken
be
too far.
You're trying to be.
You're trying to get attention to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're being annoying.
Well, yeah, most of the time you're being an asshole, and it's just like you can be you without being a jerk. Like I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's crazy when people realize they can do that.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people will just be like, "Oh, I'm just being mean. If you can't handle it, too bad."
You can't oppress me. I get to listen to this. I want to play it, blast it.
I also think that it's like if you're in a public setting.
Oh man, use headphones, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just like make it to where it's like palatable.
Yeah.
You know, because you may not necessarily care if it's got cuss words in it, but I mean, there could be kids around.
That's right.
And it's like, okay, like that's probably shouldn't do that. Or
probably not.
If it's like got vulgar, inappropriate innuendos, and it's like, well, there's kids around.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, you're dealing with old people or something. It's like just have a little bit of tact.
Respectful of your surroundings.
Yeah, exactly.
Because no song is really embarrassing. It's just who you're with.
I agree. I would play any song on my phone and not feel like, oh God. It's
definitely
like,
songs that I don't want to play
pleasure.
With certain people.
Yeah.
That I like.
Yeah, exactly. So, but let us know if you've got any embarrassing songs on or you consider embarrassing
What do you
songs.
consider embarrassing that's on your phone?
Exactly.
That's a song.
Yeah, what would you consider that's embarrassing? I don't really feel like...
And in what circles is it played?
Yeah, I don't really feel like I get embarrassed by songs.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, I definitely have my like, oh, I've got people in the car playlist, and then I'm driving by myself playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Either way,
moving on to our last question is, would you rather be overdressed or underdressed for an event?
What?
Yeah.
Overdressed or underdressed?
I added the event. The question was just, would you rather be overdressed or underdressed?
Overdressed. Always.
Always
Yes.
Overdressed?
Yes.
Even if it was like, hey, we're going to go play basketball and you're in a 3-piece suit.
That's fine. I'll be the coach.
But that's not playing. That's coaching.
Too bad. I dressed for the role.
Interesting.
But with overdressed, you can always like take off things. With underdressed, you're stuck with what you got. You may not be able to take off things.
But would you be more or less comfortable?
Oh, what? That's not a part of the question. I say if you're overdressed, people will like give you a nod and be like, "Hey, you look nice." If you're underdressed, then you feel embarrassed. People may not say anything.
I think that's an interesting thing because I personally would rather people underestimate me than overestimate. It's kind of like that. Like if I'm looking to go buy a car, I don't wear nice things.
Right.
Because I don't want preferential treatment because I'm wearing quote unquote nice things. Now this is just a personal opinion.
You don't want those little extra fees slapped in there because they think you can afford it.
Or not only that, but like, I want you to talk to me because you want to talk to me to try to help me, not
because of your status.
This guy looks like he's got money and I feel like I can get a sale out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that context, like I'd rather be underdressed. But if you're going to like, I don't know, a social event or something like that, like I don't know.
Let's call it the 5-year dinner.
The 5-year dinner. Well, sometimes we make it very casual.
That's right.
And sometimes we make it like, no, you got to like dress up nice. So me personally, I'm not a real big like dress fan, like dressing up fan. Like if I have to, I will, but I'll be like bitter about it.
Okay.
Damn it.
What would you wear if you got invited for lunch with the president?
Not a tracksuit, but
oh really?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably try to wear something decent.
Okay.
Like a sport jacket with
jeans
and tennis shoes.
Tennis shoes?
Like I don't think I'd wear a suit.
Okay.
I mean, if they're like, "Hey, you have to wear a suit,"
This
then
is what you need to wear. Okay.
They're like, okay, like,
Huh.
so like I won't buck the norm by being like, hey, this
Okay.
is the criteria, and I'll be like, well, that's too
Well,
bad.
I'm gonna dress how I want.
Yeah, and then you're just gonna have to deal with it. No, like if they're like, hey, this is a black tie event, like you got to wear a suit.
Yep.
You're like, then I have to ask myself, do I really want to go to this event?
Right.
Because I got to wear a suit.
Oh
So,
man. Okay. Follow up. What would you wear to a job interview?
It depends on what job I'm going for.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true.
If I'm going for like an office job, I would wear office attire.
Right.
So I wouldn't wear like business casual or
Business casual. is
slightly
pretty
elevated
good.
business casual.
A step above.
Yeah.
That's the thing with attire. You always want to dress one step above what is expected.
Yeah. But I'm as I'm getting older, like when younger me, like I would try to wear really nice things.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in high school, I'd like when in my sophomore or junior year or whatever, like I was trying to always wear like the nicest clothes and this and that. And I was voted best dressed
Very nice.
for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then like as I was getting older, then it kind of like tapered off.
Yeah. Well, it's not like for the status. You dress for the event.
I'd rather be comfortable than be fashionable.
Okay.
Me personally.
See, that's interesting because I was, my parents, they sort of played the little social games with their kids, and it's like, okay, well, you're gonna let's pretend you're gonna go dine with the Queen of England.
Yeah.
You know, what are you gonna wear? How are you gonna eat? What are your manners?
Yeah.
And we're like shivering in fear because they're like, oh, we're gonna off with his head. He chewed with his mouth open, and we're like, ah.
So, I think you should always have good manners regardless of your situation or the event.
Yeah.
That is something that I think is irreplaceable.
I totally agree.
Like, because somebody could be well dressed and just be a jackass.
Yeah.
And somebody could be underdressed and have impeccable manners.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, does it cancel out? Now, outwardly, we will assume the well-dressed person has better manners.
You would assume that, yes.
You would assume that. That's why I kind of feel like I go with the other end, because I don't want... You're going to assume that I'm this, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's interesting, but I would take the opposite side, because if you're dressed well, then your assumptions, they'll give you the chance. Yeah. Sometimes if they see someone dressed way underneath the occasion, and I love movies that are like that have those tropes where it's like someone comes in, the main character comes in, they're completely underdressed.
Yep. It's
so funny.
Yeah. That's how
that makes me squirm in my seat, but it's so funny.
Yeah, I kind of take it that way. It's funny because my grandpa was like that.
Yeah.
He didn't try to go with the like quote unquote social norms. So when he was in high school, he was, the homecoming king, and he, halftime of the whatever, they had to they did the court or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah, and he was supposed to dress up, and he's like, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
So he wore overalls.
Oh, man.
And it really pissed off
the homecoming
queen. So I hear stories like that, and I'm like, okay, I think that's where I kind of get it from a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably in the family.
So, but I do agree that if they tell you to dress a certain way, then you need to follow the rules. I don't want to say rules, but the request. And that goes along with manners. It's like, hey, none of these here. You're like, damn, okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Like if you ever go on a cruise, you have your formal dining. Yep. And they're like, hey, no tank tops or swimsuits in the formal dining. It's like, it sucks because you just want to be like, I've been in flip flops.
I want to wear the same outfit for the whole cruise.
Yeah, all day.
And
why
I have
do
to
I need
put
to go
something on for
change?
formal dining.
Yeah, or just to be in the formal dining area. So, I hate ties.
You hate ties.
I'm not a tie fan.
What about fake ties, clip-ons?
Maybe, but like I don't like.
You don't like the feeling of it slowly choking you?
No, I don't like the noose
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
So if I have to wear a tie, like I have to really contemplate, do I need
This
to be
better
here?
be a big event.
Yeah.
It's like, do I need to be here?
Yeah.
Is this important?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't mind like nice dress shoes. I think they they look good in just about anything that you wear. But I'd rather wear like nice tennis shoes. But I mean it's interesting because we're karate people, so we just
Our
hang out in
stuff's
geese most of the
essentially
time.
thick
So
pajamas.
yeah. So when they're like, God, you got to put on jeans, I'm like, oh, jeans.
Some people train with jeans underneath their pants.
I don't even know how they do that. I am becoming less and less a fan of jeans.
I've stopped wearing jeans.
I hate jeans.
I've got these sweet like khaki pants that are cinched at the cuffs. They're like
joggers.
They're like joggers.
Okay.
They're way nice.
Yeah.
I love them.
I got there's this type of pants from like Duluth where they're not jeans, but they're like kind of stretchy. So like if you need to like use your legs more, like you can actually use them versus jeans where it's like, man, you can't swing your leg for nothing. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of our stuff got ingrained in us with all the school dress codes.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, you got to wear this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. But once you get out of school, it's like, wear what you want.
Yeah. Like, screw your rules, man.
It's like,
I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah, people are gonna make a comment whether you're overdressed or underdressed.
Yeah.
Just that's on them. Deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I do have to say it's like, man, when I say underdressed, I mean like, you don't look like you're raggedy but you're wearing comfortable things.
Right.
Like there's a point where it's like, okay, now you're just toying the line of indecent exposure.
Right.
It's like, put some clothes on, So there is that. It's like, I do think that.
I definitely think that people need to dress modestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, dude, you don't need to be walking like, and men and women. Both do this. And it's just like, wow, you should really reconsider that wardrobe choice.
Yep.
So, but I remember the guys in school would always get coded for dress code, and then the girls would be wearing just all of this nonsense.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because when I went to school, it was the opposite.
Yeah. No, we were really pushing for it.
Yeah.
So, but they always towed the line with like dress code and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you can't wear that type of shirt, and it's like,
what do you mean?
are you kidding me? This girl's basically walking around in like denim underwear. Like, tell her to go change. So, but yeah,
Crazy.
Interesting. But always kind of err on the side of like modesty. And if they say it's a certain type of event, like if it's like, hey, this is a tuxedo event, don't show up in a jumpsuit. That's
right.
No, it's not a Philly tuxedo where it's like a crushed velour jumpsuit. No, it's a tuxedo. So
fair enough.
But moving on to our fight scene. All right, this week's fight scene, we've got Black Widow versus Bo-katan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Close. There's a K in there.
Bo-katan?
It's like Bo-katan.
Bo-katan
Kryze, I think.
Is it Kryze?
Yes.
Bo-katan Kryze. It's the female Mandalorian leader.
Womandalorian.
Womandalorian. Since we had a pretty good discussion about Predator versus Mando or the Mandalorian, let's go Black Widow versus Bo-katan.
Very cool.
All right, so round one. I don't even know where Black Widow.
Well, probably Shield HQ.
Yeah,
Shield
that's
HQ.
That's a good place to go.
So Natasha Romanoff versus Bo-katan Kryze.
Tasha Romanoff.
Using all these big words. Sorry, man.
I know. Natasha Romanoff versus Bo-katan.
All right.
All right, who you got?
Oh man, this is gonna be a tough fight.
Because they're very
Both
skilled.
of them are skilled.
Yeah.
One is heavily armored with jetpacks and blaster pistols. The other's a assassin,
Yep.
specialized in all forms of martial arts, and carries guns and batons.
Yeah.
Shield HQ is like a pretty tall building, so I think there's going to be no difficulty for the attacker, Bo-katan, to invade. But if it comes down to hand-to-hand combat, I think Black Widow will take it. So I'm going to say round one is going to be... Ooh, I don't know. That's really close. It's really close.
I personally think round one will go to Black Widow for one major reason.
One major reason. What's that?
Obviously, Bo-Katan is armored. The Mandalorians rely heavily on their tools.
Yeah.
Can they fight? Yes, of course they can. But they're very tool centric first. And clearly anything that we have on Earth would not...
All their tools are designed for war.
Yeah, they would not necessarily penetrate their armor or anything like that. But what I think would actually help Black Widow win at least round one would be her stuns, like her electric stuff. And she would be able to sneak that in between the armors.
Batons, yeah.
And then like stun Bo-Katan, and then that's when she could gain the upper hand with like hand-to-hand or her twine or garrots and all that stuff.
All those ropes.
Yeah. And that's where I think she would be able to tie her up and then incapacitate her.
Huh, okay.
But that would require her to get close to her, and that's where like
and I think
Shield HQ, she knows the layout of that place.
Yeah.
That's where she has the distinct advantage.
Okay.
So
I'm thinking because of the jetpack and the blasters, I don't think Bo-Katan would let her get close in that realm. So I'm actually going to pick the Bo-Katan to win round one.
Yeah, I can see that, but then you have to get in HQ.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, if they're fighting like outside of HQ.
What if they're on the helicarrier?
Black Widow wouldn't stay out there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think she knows she's at a distinct disadvantage because of those.
Well, she deals with Iron Man who flies. And Thor who flies.
Yep.
And all the other things that fly, because apparently flying is very easy.
Yeah.
Personal flying equipment's very easy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And Star Wars, too.
And Star Wars. So you can just strap this little backpack on your back. You can fly.
Yeah. Or Shield would already have something.
Oh, she'll have a jetpack, too.
Yeah, she could have a jetpack. Yeah. Like, oh, you got a jetpack? So do I.
Well, look at that.
Yeah. Then she shoots her out of the sky.
Pow, pow.
So I'm definitely thinking at least round one for Black Widow.
Okay.
And using her stunners.
Okay.
Not the stunner, but stunners.
Stun batons.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So round two.
Round two.
It's on the planet of
Mandalore.
So huge advantage for Bo-Katan.
Lots of platforms, lots of open areas.
Yes.
Lots of buildings, both intact and ruined.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely thinking that this is where Black Widow won't even get close to her.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she won't have that tech from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, she takes her batons with her and her guns.
She does, but I don't think they have the range. So,
do bullets work in the Star Wars universe? Because they're all lasers in Star Wars.
They are, so I don't really know what the physics behind that would be. Because I don't know what kind of atmosphere.
Makes sense. I'm pretty sure they work.
They would probably could work better.
But
I don't know.
Does Beskar armor deflect bullets if it can deflect the lightsabers?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I definitely think her armor will help her. But I don't really know if Black Widow's really known for being a marksman. Is she?
She's a marksman. Yeah.
Is she?
She's like a highly trained assassin, apparently.
You never really see her shoot anything.
You have to watch the show Black Widow, I think.
Is there?
There's a movie about her. Yeah.
I've seen the movie. I can't remember if she does a lot of like actual shooting. I know she can shoot handguns and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I've never.
I'm pretty sure highly trained just is like a blanket statement for all things.
Because there is a scene in that movie where you see a Black Widow shooting a rifle, so you would assume that translates to all of them.
Maybe you'd think. You think those skills are still kept by someone who that's their profession?
Yeah.
Round 2, Bo-katan wins.
I feel like she'd win in round 2.
Okay.
Do you have her winning in round 2 also?
I have her winning a round 2.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now we've got no armor,
no
stuns, no weapons.
Yep.
Just hand to hand
in a cage.
I think Black Widow beats her.
Me too. Yes.
Because she just.
And it's Bo-katan's fault because she doesn't respect her armor like traditional Mandalorians. Because like the Mandalorian, in my opinion, won against the Predator because he got to keep his armor because it was religious to him.
Yeah.
But because Bo-katan doesn't really share that same opinion, she doesn't get her armor, and so she loses.
Yeah. That's right. We did keep the Mandalorian kept his armor, right? Yeah, because he wore it all the time. Yeah, she routinely takes her helmet off.
Yep.
Which that's a huge no-no.
That's
for most Mandalorians.
That's forbidden.
Yeah.
It's haram.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So she
doesn't get that.
She would strip her armor.
And so it's just combat, and you've got a highly trained assassin that's like into all these different forms of martial arts versus someone who uses tools routinely to fight.
Yeah. It's like the same thing with like our modern modern military.
Really?
Yeah. Because I remember talking with Max after one of our pistol classes.
Okay.
And he said, we asked him, we're like, how much hand-to-hand combat do you do? And he goes, not very much because we're trained to get back to our tools. So it's like if someone comes up, it's like they'll show you a few things, but it's a few things to get back to your weapons. Not necessarily your hands are your weapons. So, yeah, I definitely think Black Widow's taking her.
She's taking round 3.
Round 3.
In the arena.
Yeah. So you've got Bo-katan 2-1. I've got Black Widow 2-1. All right. House divided. So let us know who you think would win between Black Widow and Bo-katan. That was a pretty good match. Seems like a lot of these Star Wars characters against other characters are pretty.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty evenly matched,
especially from different universes and stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I just found another good possible match between a Star Wars and a non-Star Wars.
Well, we'll have to save it for the next episode.
Yeah, we will definitely save it for the next episode.
Very
I
cool.
won't tell anybody.
Good.
I'll tell you off the air because I'll forget.
That's fine.
So, but all right, moving on to our joke of the week. All right, this week's joke is, why do you knock on the refrigerator door before opening it?
I don't know. Why do you knock on the refrigerator door?
Because there could be a salad dressing.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Doo-doo.
I've got a funny, interesting concept.
Tidbit.
Bit of history for you.
Okay, what's that?
So in 1920, we took the children out of the mines. We no longer let them work.
Okay.
But in 2020, the most popular video game for children is Minecraft. So that means the children yearn for the mines.
They do.
They want to go back.
They do want to go back.
Let the children mine.
Let the children mine. A little physical labor never
hurt anybody. It's good for them.
It did hurt a lot of buddies, but I like to say.
It's mostly the air, I think.
Yeah. Mostly the air.
I think we fixed that problem, though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just bring canaries down with you.
Yeah, bring canaries.
Yeah, or you could be like Zoolander. You got the black lung pop.
I got the black lung pop.
If you've never seen Zoolander, by the way.
Very, very quotable.
Highly, highly recommend. It's one of those stupid funnies.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, where you're like, this guy's an idiot. And he is an idiot. They're not like trying to say he's smart.
Well,
he's a male model.
He makes money based on how he looks.
Yeah, and blue steel. Yeah.
Is this a school for ants?
What is this, a school for ants? Yes. And Will Ferrell's in it.
Yeah, he is.
I often forget.
So funny.
I often forget Will Ferrell's in it.
Invented the piano tie.
The piano tie, absolutely. God, I feel like I'm going to watch Zoolander tonight. So.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good.
All right. Anybody like to shout out this week?
Oh man, shout out to people who managed to stay focused this week. I know it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That we were not used to that. So Those that
We
were
don't
here,
have fun in this dojo.
those that were here
Yeah.
got to participate. Shout out Kyle.
Yep.
Very excited to train with him.
Yep. Excited for
shout
Kyle
out
to started.
My brother Jake for finishing his first semester of college.
Oh, this is his first year?
First year.
Okay.
Yep. He
Nice.
is down for the summer, and hopefully we'll get to mooch off of his summer job and get a couple games of golf in.
Yeah, I'm definitly going to
See if you
mooch
can,
off him with you.
Yeah. See if you can come along. That'd be a lot of fun.
Golfing's a good time.
That's a good time.
How
about you? Shouting out.
Shouting out, so I'm going to say shout out to Kyle for getting started, getting into it, the willingness to get into it, for sure. And then Lamont for doing photos Saturday. That'll be a good time. He's always a good person to hang around.
Yeah.
We've been doing photos with him for 15 plus years now. So yeah,
I like his setup. He's got everything.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good person too.
How to do it.
Yeah, so we'll have to tell him that. I'll tell him tomorrow that we shouted him out on the show, so he's got to listen to it.
He's got to listen to us now.
Yeah, but if you don't know who Lamont is, Lamont Warnick, phenomenal photographer, great person. Yeah, he's a really good dude. He went down to Cuba a few years ago, and I told him, I go, hey, if you go, you need to buy a couple of Cuban cigars for me. I don't really smoke cigars, but it's I want to say I have them.
You want to say you have some Cubans?
So
do you have a humidor for those Cubans?
Sort of.
Sort of?
Yeah. So.
Do you need a humidor?
Yes and no.
Okay.
If you plan to smoke them, probably.
Well, if you're gonna let them just rot, you need to keep them in the humid.
Well, you can
box.
rehydrate them.
Remicrowaving something.
Yeah. I mean, you probably should have a humidor. They're in
Are they sealed?
pine box.
They're sealed.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've been there for 10 years. So
They're yours. You can do what you want with them.
exactly. So I just like to say
probably all dust.
because I have them.
You've got some Cubans. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Whether or not you should actually do anything with them,
It's
it's probably a no.
It's like,
But
yeah,
especially
that makes
now.
sense.
But it was one of those things because apparently my great grandpa was a cigar roller in Cuba.
Okay.
So it was less okay, we want to have some history.
Very
So,
nice.
Yeah, he was an American living in Cuba as a cigar roller.
Hey,
He
That's fine.
immigrated from America to Cuba for work. So,
that's pretty cool.
which you normally don't hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around.
Usually it's the other way around,
So,
but it happens.
and then obviously met my great grandmother, had my grandpa, my great uncle, and then they immigrated back to the States and have been here ever since.
There you go.
Well, my grandpa's still here. In fact, he is actually going to be turning 101 here in the next couple of weeks.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. 101. Holy crap. That is a long time. So, apparently he was born in 1925.
Wow.
Yeah. He joined the Army at 17 at the tail end of World War II. He was an Army mechanic. Never got a chance to go overseas, but then he transferred to the Air Force, became a pilot, and fought fighter missions in Korea and Vietnam.
Okay.
So,
There you go.
yeah, he flew in, I believe it was an F-105 Thunder Chief.
Okay.
I don't know if I got the number correct, but it was a Thunder Chief. So my dad's actually going to go out and see him in June. No, the end of this month. No, June. In
Okay.
June. Towards the end of June. And we're going to get him a shirt that says, never mess with an old man that flew a blah, blah, blah Thunder Chief.
Yeah.
So I
How
gotta,
cool is that?
Yeah, I got to look up the right number. So
You better make that sure that's right.
yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you for spending the time with us today, listening to our antics. We're going to be working on getting video here in the next few episodes,
That's right.
hopefully.
This is a new thing to complain about.
Yeah.
Just like Apple was in season 1 and 2.
But we will make this happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Video will happen.
Sooner
For
rather
better
than
or
later.
for worse.
Exactly. You may not want it, but too bad.
Yeah.
It's going to
Our
happen
voices are
anyways.
great. Our faces are, made for radio. But
I was going to say they're even greater.
They are great.
They're the greatest. But thanks for kicking it with us this week, guys, and we will see you next week.
Kick it with us next week. Goodbye, everyone.